Well, good morning, YouTube. Today's video, we are going to give an update on our pigs and discuss who's staying and who's gone when it comes time to go to freezer camp. So come do morning chores with me. Tubby. It rained last night, and what makes this feeding endeavor interesting on a rainy night is this hillside is pretty slick, red clay mud. So sometimes I get down here to put food in this into the trough and get a nudge and end up headed down the hill. Didn't happen this time, fortunately. So for those of you keeping score at home, what we have is we have 15 total pigs that we got from Six Oaks Farms in South Carolina earlier this year. And then of course we've got the matriarch here, Merida. You got a little bit of a little sore spot there. Somebody's popped you pretty good, or you've run into something. Anyway, so looking at right here, these are all of our non-boars. The boars are in a different spot, and we'll go to them next. So there are 12 piglets or yearling pigs here, and of course Merida. Out of these 12, we have 5 gilts, and the rest, of course, are barrows. So the question, what I've been working through as we've been watching these pigs, their personalities, their feed consumption, their conformation, all that type of stuff, been trying to figure out, okay, out of those 5 gilts, who's staying and who's gone. So let me detail some of these characteristics I'm looking at and why I think we're going to keep who we're going to keep. So when looking at the gilts, there's 2 that really stand out when it just comes to conformation, when it comes to dominance, when it comes to basically everything. And you can kind of see that's the first one's floppy ears right here. This is her pushing things around, getting stuff done. She's obviously easy to point out because she's the one gilt that has the large black ears with the big floppy ears across the eyes there. So she really stands out. Got another little gilt here. She's from one of the earlier litters, or one of the younger litters. There's 2 litters that make up this pack. So she's from the second one. She's growing all right, but just you can tell. Look at the difference, these 2. So definitely like her. And then she's got a sister here that looks about the same. That's here, number 2. You can just see her size compared to even the barrows she's standing beside. There's a barrow on either side over here that she is by far better conformation, I like her stance. Again, the way she's humped up right now in the trough doesn't really show it, but she's got a good stance, good lines. All of David's pigs have really good conformation as far as teat count and leg spread, no bow-leggedness, all that type of stuff. So you really don't have a loser out of these groups. And the third one that I'm considering, but she keeps walking away from me, is Red here. So Red is from the younger litter. She is... Merida's starting to be a jerk. Merida! So Red's a little smaller than the other two, but she has good conformation. The thing that I am just a little concerned with her is she's just not as big as the others. So I'm looking to keep back 2 gilts. So right now I'm looking at these two solid blacks as the 2 that we're going to keep back. Now as far as the barrows go, obviously you're not keeping a barrow for any reason. But you can see how well these barrows have put on weight. That's a decent sized barrow right there. There really isn't a bad pig in the mix. So the farrowing dates of this pack of swine is, we've got 2, because there's 2, as I mentioned, there's 2 litters that make up this group. The sounder would be the proper term. And so what I've got set is July the 20th, I believe, and August the 16th. So almost a 30-day spread between them 2. So we're going to take in 5 and 5. We have a smaller processor we're using this year simply because of all the craziness going on. Anxious to use this processor. Hopefully things work out the way we want it to. But we're going to do a group of 5 and then another group of 5. So I'm going to take, obviously, the 5 largest, take them in, process them, and then in August we'll take the remaining 5. Quit! All right, that's enough. You, go on. You, get out of the trough. Tubbo, who is that? Oh, that's Stubby. So this, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but this barrow that's laying down in the trough to eat, that's his whole attitude. He's the one with the stubby tail. And he literally will do this, just lay down, use his mass, his girth to push everybody aside. And I should have called him Caesar, because he kind of eats like a Roman Caesar laying out there on a chaise. Oh, come on, man. So yeah, so 2 groups. The second group will be the smaller pigs, allowing them to gain some weight there, to pick up, and obviously have a better chance to pack on what they need to in those almost 30 days. Be about 22 days, something like that. So as you saw there on the video, we're obviously still soaking and fermenting the grain. It's a powdered feed we get from our feed store. Unfortunately, if I forget to put the lids on it, then it ends up in the back of my side-by-side and starts to smell funny. But such is life. So we're still doing this. I'm going to get into, once we get everyone taken in and processed, then I'll get into a full detailed explanation of our feed conversion and all the things that we ran into there. Okay, so this takes care of feeding the non-boars today. Let's go up and check out the boars. They're probably a little anxious since I've taken more time talking to you all than what I normally do. They're ready to rock and roll, I'm sure, on breakfast. So while I'm driving up to the boars real quick, I wanted to announce a flash sale for the flashlights, and we're going to do a drawing to give away one. So today, Sunday the 21st, as you're watching this video, starting at 8 p.m. tonight, going all the way through Monday, there's a flash sale on the S2R Baton 2, which is this flashlight here. It's in desert tan, really nice light. I keep this one in the side-by-side, makes it handy. Those are, I believe, are 30% off. So that gets it down to like $52, which is a great deal on that. And then what we're doing as well, we're giving away, Olight sent me this i5T flashlight. And we're giving a brand new one away. This is mine. We're giving a brand new one away just like this. We're going to do a drawing. So if you're on our email newsletter list, that's where the drawing will come from. So if you're not on our email list or you're not sure, you can just go to redtoolhouse.com, click on our newsletter link there. There's just a quick basic form. You can put your information in, and it'll let you know. If you've already registered, it'll say, hey, you're already on there. If you haven't, then of course it'll accept that information. So we're going to do a drawing in 2 weeks, and I'll do a couple announcements as we go along through other videos just to remind people. But I'm going to give this guy away. So that's, I think this is a $40 flashlight, $30 or $40 flashlight. So yeah, not a bad little gift there. I'll ship it to your house for free. And then the sale also includes a bundle. You can get these two bundled together, 40% off. So that makes the total price $64 for the two bangers there. All right, back to the boars. Boy, have I got a treat for you all today. So you can see everybody's fat and happy on this side as well. We got our 3 boars here, and again, Little Red, I call him here. What he lacks for in stature, he makes up for in endowment, I should say. Scale wise, he's doing okay. But anyway, I digress. So obviously don't want to keep 3 boars. That's not the plan. Really, with some other things I've got in the works, really with toying with the idea of taking Little Red, I believe. You know, he's a good looking boar as far as his conformation goes and his color and everything. The thing I don't like about him is he's got a little bit of an attitude. He's Napoleon syndrome, I believe. He's my fence jumper. Now he hasn't jumped since we moved here, but he's been my fence jumper, and he's actually kind of been my ringleader. He'll take other people with him when they're going to jump the fence. So that is a strike against him, and a pretty good strike. But then looking at the other 2 boars, so Flop Ears here, that dude is super chill. He's probably number 1 on my list. And by chill, I mean he when I go to move him, I can literally just push him. Obviously, when he gets 700 pounds, probably not going to do that. But comes well to a feed bucket. Not very aggressive. I can even pull on his ears a little bit, and he'll just pull away. So he doesn't reach out, trying to lash out to me there. So that's good. Second one here, he would be my number 2, obviously, just because of process of elimination. A little bit more anxious, a little bit more skittish. Definitely likes to knock the ladies around more. He's been, when they were together, he definitely would kind of bully him over and those type of things. So not super aggressive. You can kind of see he's taking care of Little Red there from the feed bowl. Helps if I look at the camera to make sure I'm not drifting away. So he's making Little Red fight for everything that he can get there, and it's interesting how the personalities have worked out. So this is, you know, Flop Ears. Obviously, got to come up with some names for these guys if I'm going to keep them. But like I said, he's pretty chill. I could rub on him, do all that type of stuff, and he wouldn't mind it. And that, you know, the other black one wouldn't either. Little Red would probably get aggravated and move on. What's funny is this is Flop Ears is the one that if I give him a belly rub, he almost goes like a fainting goat. I mean, he's down quick. And I can just rub on him, and he'll literally straighten out and become stiff as a board, which again is nice to have that personality that we can subdue him to some degree if we need to chill out. While we're here, let me give some updates on the corral, the pig pasture, and the corral, how it's been working out. So I don't think I documented it in the last video that I did about the corral, but obviously there's the boars. Here's the famous or infamous trotter bridge, and what I ended up doing is I ran electricity underneath the trotter bridge, just one single strand. It's high enough that it's going to get them in the ears, right above the eyebrows. And what I did, you can see my black pipe laying there. What I did is, again, if you've watched the build of this, electric fence coming down the hill here, and I didn't want to have electric in this last section anywhere close to the bridge or to my swing gate, so it stops there. Well, using black water pipe, I've got the electric line running through that underneath and comes out right here at the bridge. And in case you're wondering, well, that's going to fill up with water. I've got the end bent down here, so you can see there's the end bent down. And so what that does, that obviously insulates it. I think they can still sense it a little bit, but it's not as intimidating for them. So I've just got it strung real loose. These boards that if we get a real flood and they need to break away, then they can break away without tearing out my bridge. So I didn't really attach anything to the structure of the bridge. We've had a lot of high water here recently, and it hadn't been an issue yet. And then since the trotter bridge went really well, they were running across it fine, I went ahead and electrified this inside of this hog panel down across our creek crossing. Now granted, the creek crossing, my goodness, that's, you know, those boars could walk into that easily, but that hog panel there will keep them at bay. But just electrified all of that. Again, the high water, you can see some of the debris that's built up, but this big sycamore tree has a root there, so it makes a kind of a natural dam. As far as the overall pasture goes, again, you can see my white post. You can see where they're starting to root up some of the ground here. You can see the other white post, that's where it crosses that ravine and goes up past this oak and all the way up. But they really haven't mowed down that little wide open spot there yet. They've been hanging out up here. I've got a little shelter. They hang out up there. I think they can hear the gilts and barrows, so they like to hang out. Really the only place that's getting a lot of wear, and I expected it to, is our choke down here. So this is where our stream comes in. This is all fill-in from erosion over decades. So there's just all kinds of good stuff buried here. So they're just rooting the heck out of this. And of course they're using some of these puddles as wallows. And right here where what I call the little waterfall, solid stone coming down, it collects debris and water that they don't have access to. So it's kind of a fun opportunity for them to come down, use the wallow, cool off, get some clear, clean water, since they're not able to soil anything above stream from this. So it comes down and it gives them cleaner water to drink. One thing I was worried about was the transitions with the trotter bridge. As this starts to get muddy and high traffic and churned up really badly, how much is this going to wear out and you know, kind of fall away or erode away? So you can see I put a step here. Probably come back with some additional stuff, maybe some stones, heavy stones to bury, but obviously anything like that that's going to be new, they may flop it around. So may even have to come back if this plan really sticks for a while, for a couple seasons. May even have to come back and just maybe pour a concrete pad there just to have a good transition. But the bridge itself has held up well. Of course, they're going across it. They're kind of skidding across it. But it hasn't slowed them down at all. Now that they know that this is the place where you come to get grub, then this is the place to hang out. So the plan, of course, is to bring in wood chips. I haven't done that yet. You saw in my action cam shot the mud that I'm driving through, so I'm trying to keep from wallowing out that road until I get that repaired, get it drained. But who knew we'd have this much rain in June? But the walls are holding up well. They're not trying to root under. An additional thing I did probably since the last is just put 2 of these slabs, screwed those to my gate, just to be a little bit more of a deterrent to have them think, hey, I need to go through that. Need to add another one because obviously they're tall enough now that they can just see through the 3rd section. So put another board there just to block that out, trying to keep from making the gate super heavy. But all that seems to be working. So it's time to move on to feed the chickens. I won't video that because this is not a video about chickens. That's my next step in my daily chores. But comment below if you noticed in the boar feed something kind of out of place or something unique there. I'll just give you a little hint. I'll see if anybody, you guys are Hawkeyes on all this stuff, and I guess you can always reverse and watch it, but I figure some people have already seen it and commented. If you saw something in the boar's feed that was kind of unique, I'll just say that there was somebody that was very large and not in the place he needed to be. So comment below if you can figure out what that was. All right, take care, everybody.